Welcome everybody to Holden's Club Mother. Oh, I'm
Bro,
leaving it in.
you're doing so
I'm
well.
leaving it in. I'm leaving
You
it in.
did it so well.
Oh my
Come
god.
on, don't pussy out now.
Oh no, it's still recording. I'm not stopping.
Oh crap!
Welcome everybody to Holden's
I'm
Dokkan
sorry.
Clubcast. This is
Oh my
God damn it.
I can't.
All right. So this is you know, a podcast about Dokkan, and yeah. So this is my
You're so good at this.
my companion.
Oh
No,
my
but
God.
welcome
All right.
everybody. This is Holden's Dokkan Clubcast. This will be the first episode of the podcast. I've actually been waiting to do this for almost 2 years now, since the summer of 2019, I believe. Back in Global's fourth year anniversary. My guest here tonight is Scorpion. Introduce yourself.
Sup, everyone? It's
Shut up!
Scorpion here. Oh, okay. Have a nice day.
But no, yeah. Today we're going to be talking about what do we have down 4 topics or something?
I think we had New Year's Dokkan Fest, why the blue fusions are underrated, and stuff like that.
Oh boy, that's just saying that out the gates, huh?
Yeah.
Starting off with that
I
one.
mean, they came here for hot takes,
Well,
bro.
yeah, but Jesus. Yeah, the first one we're going to talk about is global system for top grossing rewards. So, we'll start off with that. All right. So, what are your thoughts on the 7 stones per country system that Global has right now?
I personally really hate it. It's never been a step up in any regard from the old top grossing system. It's always just been a major disappointment to see 7 stones in your gift box after you reach top grossing in the country. Mostly France because they're goated, but you understand my point, right?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but what would you propose that they would do instead of this? Because before they
I
just
don't
ignored that
dislike.
countries got first they just ignored that countries got first place. Like a freaking Nigeria or something got first place, they'd be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. It's also it. I'm not gonna say it's not also a part of global Dokkan devs just not paying attention to when countries are getting top grossing, but at the same time, the old top grossing system still gives out more stones than the new one. 30 stones every single time. That I just prefer the consistency over just 7, 21, none at all, all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying. Personally, I don't really. Maybe this is from a different perspective because I'm not too worried about spending money on the game, so I guess it's a little bit different for me.
I know you aren't.
Okay. Okay. Well, but no, I'm not too against spending money, but I think the top grossing reward system is fine. I do understand why people are so upset about it because you look at JP and they get 30 every single time. So obviously there's a bit of discrepancy there. But there's a lot of factors that change that. For example, the gacha market over there, as people have been beating it in like a dead horse, is far more competitive than it is over here. And it's also a lot easier for Global to hit top grossing in general because there's so many countries that can hit top grossing that it leads a situation to where at least someone is gonna hit number 1, right? During a big celebration. So I understand that because beforehand Global was like, oh, why didn't we get top grossing? Because I don't know, like Guyana or something hit top grossing or whatever.
Oh my.
And they're like, well, where's the top grossing stones? And then Akatsuki was like, oh, okay, well, how about we just give 7 stones for each country that hits top grossing? And since then, for one, people were complaining about top grossing immediately preceding that godly year that Dokkan had, where we got top grossing every single month. Or
that was
it was
so good.
It was so good. So people were like,
Beer is not Dokkan.
no top
Beer is
grossing
not top
stones.
grossing.
I think Well, no, beer. No, this was before then. This was a year before.
No, what is?
Yeah.
That when
Okay.
beers came.
So the 7 stone thing started with SSBKK. On Global.
Didn't I thought it was cooler.
Did it? I thought they
I think it started with
permanently
cooler.
adapted. I know they permanently adapted. I mean, I'm just going off of what I've heard mostly.
It's
I know they did
either way.
7 stones occasionally, but I'm pretty sure that they fully adapted the system with SGR SSBKK's release, because that was when people were like really pissed about the top racing stones. So yeah, I understand why people are upset about it, because we're coming off the rails of getting like 30 stones every top grossing or whatever. So like I get why people are like, oh, why is it just 7? Why aren't we getting any? Like, I just feel like 7 stones was it was a way to quit people from complaining about never getting top grossing stones. But I don't see what they would do that would be genuinely fair when comparing it to JP's system for global. Because like, I don't care what you say, like, I don't care if Poland gets top grossing, or they don't care if Poland gets top grossing as much as they would the United States of America. Did you just say Poland easy, eh?
No, I said Poland, you say.
Oh, I thought you said Poland easy, eh?
Anyways, you were saying?
But yeah, no, I like, they don't care as much if like Poland gets top grossing versus the United States. They mainly care about the United States and Japan. So, I mean, maybe then you could say one country could get 30 if it hit top grossing, and then another could only get 7 based off of its like population or something. It would be very complicated.
The thing I think about is, right, the quality of the Dokkan Fest they release. Like, say they release Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which they did, right? You would expect that to get top grossing like instantly, because Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is obviously a very popular and hype character, right? Yeah, but say you release someone like a Dokkan Fest, let's just say Beerus, for example, right? You wouldn't expect him to hit top grossing like instantly. You think it would take a long time, right?
Right.
So I think that giving out like, say, 7 stones for a character that took so freaking long to actually get top grossing is just kind of freaking pain, if you ask me. But it makes it feel like everyone just spending all of their stones on a banner just to get 7 stones as a reward is just really scummy in my opinion.
I mean, I can definitely see where you're coming from, but then that begs the question. So, do you want them to give us less stones for more hype characters who get top grossing immediately, or?
Well, I'm not. Maybe it's something I need to think about a little bit more, but I feel like it should be determined on how fast the character actually hits top grossing for. Say a fusion hits top grossing in like maybe a day or two. Like, say, give out 14 stones or something. But then give someone like, what's an unpopular character? Not so unpopular character. Yeah, Android 13. Give Android 13, someone who would take a little bit to actually get that top grossing, a larger quantity of stones as like a reward for actually getting it after so long of the banner being out.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like
it's definitely something to be discussed about. It's nothing like,
I don't think this is like necessarily a topic that you could like sit down and figure out the perfect ultimate system for, especially considering how many like countries there are. I don't think it's possible to think of a perfect system for this. The only thing I care about is consistency, which is what the 7.
Same. That's why I love the old top grossing system the best. 30 stones every single time.
It was 30 stones every single time if we hit the top grossing in the right countries. Like I said, certain times like we would hit it in like Luxembourg. Sometimes we'd get it in Luxembourg and we wouldn't get any stones. It wasn't until we adopted like the 7-stone dragon
That's just
stone thing.
that's because the Dokkan devs are just lazy and won't acknowledge it.
I think it's because they value the United States. They value like places such as like bigger countries. Basically, they value them more than they do Luxembourg. Who cares about Luxembourg? Like, no offense to Luxembourg, but yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable, but still, I still want to stand by my point in just saying I firmly like the old system better than the new one, because think about it, all these top grossings we've gotten in 2020, have we ever gotten past 21 stones? Ever?
Besides the worldwide downloads and the anniversary.
Yeah.
No,
But
I don't
you always
think...
get like 30, 100 stones.
Yeah,
that makes my point.
Back again. Let me check.
We have not gotten a top grossing this year that has exceeded 21 stones. Besides the worldwide celebration.
Yeah, besides the worldwide celebration and the anniversary, I don't think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's to be expected, right? Like, given the new system that they've used, or they've been using. Hold on. Let me just double check you real quick. But I'm pretty sure.
I'm fairly certain.
I'm pretty sure as well. I mean, yeah, but regardless, it's clear that people aren't happy with how this is being handled. They weren't happy whenever we changed this to begin with, and the fact that it's remained for so long and people are always complaining about it is kind of baffling to me. I think eventually they'll adopt a new system, but I don't think they know what to do. Personally, I don't think they know how to change it to make it better. Without,
I think they tried a new idea, but they just executed it really badly.
Yeah, they did try a new idea, but obviously it didn't work out the best.
They tried 7 stones per country. Like, per country, I think that's a little low of a stone count.
Did Gotenks and Boo hit it?
No.
No. Oh yeah, no, they didn't, because they had that bug thing that happened.
Yeah.
Right. That was such
I don't think they got top grossing on JP either.
I don't believe they did either. Yeah, no, I don't.
Just a very good golden league, in my opinion.
I mean, it was hype when it first revealed on JP, but then the units weren't like really too broken or anything. Like, Cooler is better than both of them, and that shouldn't be the case considering how old he is. Speaking of which, we should segue into our next topic, talking about dual Dokkan festivals. What about Pikkon and Janemba? We're a bit late on this, by the way. We were initially trying to record this podcast episode like
weeks ago.
Yeah, weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't have the best audio routing for the podcast.
He's poor. Don't mind him.
Yeah, I'm poor. Don't mind me. I'm not really that rich. Very impoverished with my Mac desktop.
Oh my god! And your reckless spending on a mobile game.
Yeah, with my reckless spending, my dolphinism, if we will.
Anyways.
Yeah, we're gonna basically. We want to do like a little bit of a retrospect. If you look back at the New Year's Dual Dokkan Fests in the past, every single one of them was like the new best TUR in the game. And then you look at Pikkon and Janemba, and well, yeah.
Some people have been saying that they don't live up to the New Year's hype, but at the same time, you look at the past New Year's Dokkan Fest, and there's sort of a pattern there with that, in my opinion. Because you don't look at like, hold on, let me see. Let me see the. Personally, I don't see Gogeta and Broly as a New Year's celebration unit. I see them as like an anniversary kind of thing.
I mean, well, wouldn't that make it more hype for New Year's?
I mean, no, that's not the point. I'm just saying it doesn't fit to me. It just doesn't fit. And Trunks and Zamasu Yeah, I don't think Trunks and Zamasu are fit for New Year's either. Especially since it was just one banner. Not even a dual Dokkan contest.
Okay, the
And
Trunks and Zamasu thing was like, okay, that was a little bit different because Dokkan was like, they were still trying to figure out what they were gonna do for New Year's. I mean, like the New Year's before that was Dragon Fist Goku, like AGLS's J3 Goku. I believe it was
the easy.
Yeah, the easy A one. And then the next year they were like, all right, 2 units, and then they pumped out that. And the next year,
oh,
like,
this one,
2 more units.
Okay, this one I think is a good example. I feel like Pikkon and Janemba are around a similar level of hype as Goku and Vegeta were.
I agree.
To me.
Yeah. Initially Goku and Vegeta were super hype, but I feel like once we got them in game, it was like the hype immediately kind of like died down a tad.
I think people were just really turned off by like the animation quality compared to other stuff we got prior.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Cooler came out before them.
He did. Yeah.
So like they were expecting animations like Coolers, but no, we got stuff like.
Yeah, I mean, like they have like 1 or 2 like super hot shots. Like SSJ3 Goku has like that one close up, but honestly,
Vegeta throws his like key blast.
Yeah, but like you compare it to like Cooler's camera panel switching.
360, bro.
Yeah, the 360 panel switching. So I feel like the hype comes from the animation factor, and good God,
it really
does. There's no better example of this than Gogeta and Broly. Like, whatever that.
Those were just.
Yeah, that's how you do a hype celebration unit. You know, that's how you live up to the New Year's hype. You know, Tech VB and
I
Sierra
really think Pikkon and Janemba's animations do live up to the expectations that we have right now.
I think Janemba's certainly do. I like Pikkon's. I like the twirl he does, and obviously seeing Gogeta's cool, but like I really don't care too much for the reused assets. Like the final shot in Pikkon's unit super attack or partner super attack.
It has Fizz Gogeta's art, right?
Well, no. I'm talking about the very final. Well, it does. Yes, that's another example of what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the very final shot. That explosion. It's literally just
Stardust thing from Gogeta, right?
It's literally just a recolor of AGL DBS Gogeta's Stardust Breaker, and it's like, bro, we got this like 2 years ago. Like come on now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But then like, I mean, it's not even just the animations. I mean, the units themselves, man. Like again, as we said, like every New Year's. Besides maybe Int Trunks and Texama, I don't know if Int Trunks was considered better than FizzBB back then. I wasn't really, like I was playing back then, but I wasn't smart enough to be able to tell you. I would imagine
it depends if like nuking was really popular back then, which I think it was.
It was not anymore. During that I remember what the meta was. It was super and extreme class teams.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty
it was like that
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't the villains team better?
Oh yeah, villains team was way better.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure.
SCR Rose supporting the whole team is just
whoa. We're talking about Int Trunks and Texama.
I mean AGL Rose,
yeah,
and
AGL,
stuff like that.
Yeah, SCR Rose.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay.
Broke the meta. He would have just showed up and like slapped his like legendary
best unit in the game for 2 years.
VB. But besides them two, we look at the next year. We got Tech VB. The year after that, DBS Gogeta, and then these last 2 years, they've been kind of missing. You know, like in Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Tech Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. While they were like cool, I still don't like Tech Vegeta's Majin art. I think the Diamondback.
I like using the Goku, but he's not my favorite unit in the world.
And that's another thing. But we'll get to that in a second. What I was gonna say is like they're really cool units. I like their design. It's very refreshing to have a unit that makes you like have to think about everything, right? We don't get those too often. But the problem with units that make you think is that they're almost always going to be worse than units that don't. So, for example, SDR Cooler, you don't have to think using Cooler. You just use
You
Cooler.
press buttons
Yes,
and
you
then you
just give
kill
him orbs
everything.
and he kills Saiyans. That's his gimmick. That's his thing. He kills Saiyans. That's his thing. You look at Goku Vegeta and it's like, okay, can I count up to 3? Can I count up to 4? All right, great. Then
It's
I
pretty
can
hard,
work.
man.
Yeah, the orb requirements are very restrictive on the units. And also, man, they messed up Goku's team so bad. Like,
Otherworld
God.
World is just so bad. It's so
He's
bad.
not even the best leader for SSJ3. He only gives it 150%. Bardock gives it 170.
Dang.
And that's another
Like,
another fall. Like, you look at all the other New Year's units, they all had like, well, again, besides maybe in Trunks and
they
Texamasu,
had
all of them
like
had the best
really good
leaders.
leader
Yeah,
skills.
they were the new best leaders in the
Didn't
game.
Gogeta and Broly introduce dual leader skills?
Well, technically, Tech Hit introduced it on Global, like, I think it was like 2 days before Gogeta and Broly dropped. But on JP, yes, they introduced the dual category meta. And good God,
because that's a
it was
big
so
thing
hard.
that these units like bring to the table, new stuff to go on. But
Yeah.
Goku, Vegeta, and Pikkon and Janemba are just basic to me.
I mean, AGL Pikkon and Tech Janemba probably have the best secondary leader, which is like the 130%, the super and extreme class, which is cool, but
it's not meta breaking or anything.
And their categories aren't meta breaking either. Like, you compare it to like their leader skills are very, you know, they're built a lot like AGL, Zamasu, and Tech Trunks, and like their main categories, like you compare Future Saga to freaking Mind and Body Erosion, it's night and day. It's so bad.
Future Saga is so good.
It is, and then you look at Realm of Gods versus like what is it called?
Don't compare
Connected
Realm of Gods to the Pikkon and Janemba categories. How dare you?
That's the point, yeah. Like, these units really did hit the mark. Miss the mark.
I personally don't want to call them mid or anything. I don't think they're mid. I think they're pretty good, but still, they're not crazy in any regard.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, like, well, okay, so I don't want to get into like the super mega hardcore debating territory here, but in my opinion, I think Pikkon has the better kit in terms of his passive and his super attack and all that, but I feel like he has such little need on his teams in terms of like it's like people have been talking about like putting this guy next to Goku and Vegeta, and it's like, yeah, it can work, but like, do you really want to run Pikkon next to SCRLR Super Vegito, or do you want to run LR Vegito next to SCRLR Super Vegito? Like, which one would fit better? I wonder. Yeah, right?
Hey,
like,
synergy.
Yeah, and whereas you look at Janemba, and it's like, not only does Janemba's Orb Supporter, which is Tech Semi-Perfect Cell, not only does that guy actually, I think it's about to lose in a second. Yeah, there we go. So not only does Tech Semi-Perfect Cell actually link up really well with Janemba, he literally fixes Janemba's problems. And while that's probably not fair, he's on like, what is it? Like, he's on Mind and Body Erosion thanks to Janemba's lead, and he's on Transformation Boost. Right.
And movie bonuses, I think.
Tech Semi-Cell?
Oh, not Semi-Son.
Yeah. Oh my God, his lips were so menacing in the movies, bro. He's Broly's right hand man. No, but
I will stand by this and say that Janemba has just one of the best whole freaking link sets in the whole entire game. It's so good.
Oh my, yeah, dude.
It's unparalleled how good it is, bro. Big bad bosses.
He was built to last. Every Janemba unit in the past was built to last. Now this one, I have my problems with this design. Everybody does, and I think a lot of people think that Pikkon's better simply because Pikkon's easier to use. Huh?
What does Transform Janemba do with orbs again? When he gets a certain amount of orbs?
So whenever he gets a certain amount of orbs? Like,
wasn't that something
about? Yeah, let me look at it real quick. I believe he gets a attack buff, and then he gets that chance to dodge.
They could have subbed the attack buff for
The thing
guard.
that people are saying is that he should have gotten guard still.
I agree.
Guard, and I agree with that. Yeah. Whenever he gets whenever he gets, I think it's 4 orbs, right? No, in his
Yeah.
transform state, it's 3 orbs. So whenever he gets 3 or more type key spheres, he gets an additional attack plus 40%, which is calculated separately, I believe. So it's like 180%. Or wait, no, it's not. Never mind. It's not. It's just added. Okay, yeah, no, that would have made him hit pretty hard. So yeah, he only
Yeah,
gets up
if
to.
that's the case, they could have given him guard
Yeah,
instead.
because it's only 40% plus 80, 180. Which is like cool, but
He
like
would be hitting you.
yeah, like you compare that to Cooler. Like
Uh,
Cooler's getting ×2. Like
we don't mention Cooler's name in front of anyone that's not Gogeta.
yeah,
Okay.
that's true. Yeah. Or I'm like, oh, okay. Well, don't get the Tech Gohan part started up, bro.
You know what? I'll say it right now. I'll say it right now. Tech Gohan mid. Come after me, bro. Come on. Let's go.
I agree. So yeah, Tech Janemba is, I think people are like really downplaying him simply because of the history, the historic imprint that Janemba's had on
Just
Dokkan
how
in the past.
busted the Janemba units were, like
Yeah.
when they prime.
So like now that we're seeing Pikkon, who's easier to use than this Janemba, this Janemba requires a lot more help than Pikkon does. People are like, oh well, Pikkon's better because Pikkon units sucked in the past. So seeing this Pikkon be actually relevant is like, holy shit, he's actually relevant.
Exactly. I've made this point in the past that I think it's really good that they did not make it a Gogeta and Janemba Dokkan Fest.
I agree.
Because Pikkon needed relevance, and we're already gonna get a Super Gogeta that's similar to LR Super Vegito at some point in the future. So it's kind of to be expected that it wouldn't be a Super Gogeta.
Right, and
That-
oh yeah, no, excuse me. Go ahead. Was that it?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, that's another thing to mention. This Janemba is gonna like shoot up in relevance because a lot of people probably are like, oh, they're not gonna make an LR Janemba now. Not that they released this Janemba. Well, I would say maybe not immediately. Maybe it's no longer guaranteed that the revamp of Year 3 Gogeta. Maybe it's not guaranteed that he'll release with an LR Janemba. Maybe that's not the case. But if you look at Tech Janemba's attacks, and like you really look at the old ones, for starters, this is the first modern Janemba we've had in a long time. And for one thing, right? Fat Janemba doesn't do like the copy Goku.
The sword. It does like the sword up into the flames and stuff. That was the most coolest shot ever.
Bro, I said Fat Janemba.
Oh, yeah, Fat Janemba. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Fat Janemba with the Master Sword over here.
I'm so sorry.
No, but yeah, Janemba, the Fat Janemba doesn't do the copy Goku thing. And then the transformed Super Janemba. While STR Janemba does do this, Tech Janemba doesn't do it, and it's like one of the best shots in the movie. I think it's called Rakshasa's Claw. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the first word.
I don't know. It just sounds like a Janemba thing, like yeah. So he doesn't do that, and we haven't seen Rubik's Cube Janemba yet. So,
oh yeah, where he like deforms and
yeah.
like goes into like this space.
Yeah, so the fact still remains that we're gonna get a Janemba. There's still so much left. Same with Gogeta. And what I was gonna say is that whenever that unit drops, he'll presumably come with a new category. If we're still in that meta, I highly doubt we'll ever leave this meta. Like,
We're too far deep.
I like it, but like, but whenever he drops, he'll bring a new category, which this Tech Janemba will be on, and then he'll be able to link up with him pretty decently. And maybe he'll change orbs for Fat Janemba to get his abilities off easier. But I just feel like, in terms of how these units will work on their teams, I feel like Janemba's I feel like he'll age better than Pikkon. Just not even looking at their kits. I feel like Pikkon just doesn't have the right links and doesn't have enough power and synergy with his teams to be relevant for a long time. I think Janemba does, even in his.
That's a fair assumption, and I agree with it. Because you really don't expect people like Pikkon to link well with LR Int, Super Vegito, Gogeta, and all that stuff.
Or Spirit Bomb of
Besides.
Goku. or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I can't wait to run AGL Pikkon next to Super Saiyan movie Goku.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of people are like, well, he has shocking speed, and it's like,
Shocking speed doesn't fix it. It just
experienced
really doesn't.
fighters, fierce battle. I mean, yeah, he'll get 2 attack links with Spirit Mama's World Goku. Like, you look at him on his categories, movie heroes.
And here we have Goku Vegeta and STR Super Vegeta. They transform, they have the same link set. I think they
Yeah,
do, right?
they have the exact same link set, yeah.
Exactly.
And God, don't even
Why
get me
would you
started on how
run
much
Pikkon over that?
Pikkon. Yeah, I think people are, misled by his overwhelming utility.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no Fist Frieza, but he still has a lot of utility, right?
Mhm.
And then there's like, but my point is, like, you look at his categories, man. I guess maybe he can work pretty well on saviors.
I guess so, man. I guess so.
Maybe that's the secret.
Man,
code.
Otherworld Warriors, such a good category with
Oh
Pikkon, man.
yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to run, Easy A Int Gogeta and any of that on Otherworld. No. I need that Pikkon. Yes, sir. Just because his active skill and his unit super attack, just because it's like, or I guess it's not his active skill. His active skill is actually pretty hard to get, but just because his unit super attack isn't hard to pull up, doesn't necessarily mean that he's like super good or that he'll age well. It just means like if you want. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Wait, can you get the partner super attack infinitely, or like is it one time thing?
It's a forever thing. So long as the conditions are
Oh,
always.
right.
I mean, and it's a good attack, but like,
It's not worth. It's not like really worth it, in my opinion.
yeah, like it greatly lowers attack, which is a 30% debuff that can be stacked since it lasts for 3 turns. But like, okay, I know like it's caveman thinking, but since we're on this topic, you want to compare him to like, what was it, like 2 years ago with AGL DBS Gogeta? Like, dude,
Yeah.
Gogeta's hitting harder than this Pikkon. Like,
Guaranteed crits, man.
Yeah.
Guaranteed crits. 50% chance to dodge.
Whenever this Pikkon doesn't get off his unit super attack, literal Super Saiyan Gogeta is dishing out like almost double his output. That shouldn't be the case. This Pikkon shouldn't need to have a restriction to be out damaging a unit that came out 2 years ago. And Janemba shouldn't need to have like a bunch of like people holding his hands so he can cross the finish line. Like, this shouldn't be the case, and I think that's why a lot of people are upset. I like these units. I think they're fun designed units, but they're not New Year's Dokkan Fest, not to me. So that's my
opinion. I feel like they could have just. I feel like they feel like a Golden Week kind of thing for me.
I agree, especially considering their tanks and blue.
Yeah.
That would have made these guys look so good, because I consider both of them above Gotenks and Blue, which is, I feel like that could be argued depending on who you ask.
Pikkon deserved this Dokkan Fest.
Yes.
He needed this Dokkan.
He needed it. And I think he'll get better once we get more units, but I just don't think his teams will allow him to be good on them. Like, he'll be good, but he won't be the best, like, on his teams ever. It's
not enough just to support. You need synergy along with it.
And you need to be able to work with your team's best players, which Pikkon...
It's like...
Yeah.
It's like slapping a random support unit on a team that doesn't even fit with the rest of it, besides that one specific.
I'll make a few people that one. Alright, then...
Mimi's gonna be mad.
Is that how you pronounce it? I always thought it was Mayday.
Honestly, I've been saying Mimi for years.
Alright, well...
Not years.
Centuries. Since we were talking about Pikkon and Janemba, there's another unit that came out, right after that, in January. I think it was on the 6th.
I wonder who that could be.
Good old Evil Incursion STR Super Janemba.
Can't wait to dive into this rabbit hole.
On the 7th of January he released. Now, a lot of people a lot of people really don't
I
like
like it.
this unit. Oh, you don't like it?
Oh no, I like it. I like the unit. I'm just saying a lot of people don't.
Yeah. Um, you know, the Janemba, when optimized, hits harder.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's really the main reason
I
people are
think
so
the
upset.
main qualm is that they're still comparable to each
Yeah.
other.
Um,
They expect the new EZA to completely outshine, like Gogeta did with STR Gogeta, where just made him completely irrelevant.
dude, that's not even like the same parallel universe. Like in Super Gogeta is 4 parallel universes ahead of STR Super Gogeta. Like
It's
they're not
quite
even the same.
it's sad.
Yeah, but you
But yeah,
compared
that's
to
what
this.
people were expecting.
Right. Exactly. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I have the count here. I'm saying. I mean, it won't pop up in the video, but whenever you're comparing their stats on average, like Janemba, if he gets his hit part of his passive off, where he gets attack plus 40% after receiving an attack, and it's like active for like how many turns is that active? Like 4?
Like 3?
It's
3 or 4.
3 or 4. It's for 4 turns. Yeah, he gets an additional attack plus 40%, and then he gets a 30% chance to dodge for 4 turns after his guard is activated, which is basically whenever he's hit. Whenever that's active, STR Janemba hits harder. Whenever it's not, or no, not STR Janemba. Whenever that's active, Int Janemba hits harder, and then whenever it's not, STR Janemba hits harder.
And it's not even that much, to be honest.
It's really
it's not that huge of a difference.
But you can also make the argument that really their defenses aren't that different either. Like it's like what like
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's
but
like what,
remember,
like 10,000 or something like
that. STR Janemba has a way better lead, and second of all, he has a dude. I love his dodging mechanic where he just gains more dodge as he dodges.
It doesn't
it's just
add,
crazy.
sadly, but it's like a separate chance. I think like what didn't the somebody on Reddit calculated like it increases by like I think it's 7% per dodge or something like that. In reality, it just adds by 7%. It's something weird like that. But it's not even just that. Like, even though his defensive numbers are better, his attack isn't restricted behind getting hit. Whereas
imagine having to get hit in order to do really good damage. It's kind of crazy.
Mr. 1.9 millions compared to STR Janemba's 3 millions.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is without like.
And there will be some occasions where you don't even get hit, like in general.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. Janemba doesn't get his dodge until he activates that guard. STR Janemba gets it immediately. He just has it. Which is really cool. And like, if you want to do like one more thing, which I don't think is necessary, you know, STR Janemba, the Chad that he is, massively lowers defense. Janemba only greatly lowers defense. You know, the Virgin greatly lowers versus the Chad massively lowers.
Isn't it only like a 30% difference?
Yeah, it's only 30%. Yeah.
Hey, it's still better, I guess. It's still better.
and hey.
Anyways.
So I don't know if it'll still be around, but on global, Janemba's dodge chance is only 25.
Wait, what?
30. Yeah, so after a recent I don't know if you were here for this, Scorpion, but a recent update happened where they changed every medium chance in the game to be 30% on JB. So that included Janemba, that included SGR Cooler's chance to perform an additional super, Fizz Vegeto's chance to perform an additional super. I mean, it only went up by 5% for those two. But yeah, every medium chance is now 30 instead of 25 or 30. Like they're not like going back and forth. It's 30 if it's medium. So, but on global, that's not the case.
That's an actual global shaft. I'm kind of mad.
Well, it hasn't gotten. The update will come eventually, but it's a global shaft for like 3 months, man. I'm super upset.
Still,
But
you
yeah,
know how many supers I don't get with Fizz VB.
you should probably just rainbow it, then maybe you won't have that problem.
Shut up, Holden. I didn't.
But yeah, like whenever you're comparing in Janemba and STR Janemba, like he's just a lot more flexible, and he's a lot less demanding than Janemba is with his.
He's less selfish.
Yeah. But in reality, as much as I like to make it sound like STR Janemba isn't that bad, and he's not. I think he's a top 3 EZA, personally. I put him like right, but I don't think his guard is enough to put him over in Super Gogeta. God forbid if anybody thinks he's better than Fizz VB. Like, what's wrong with you?
Fizz VB.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
But the problem with this Janemba that I have and a lot of people have, I mean, it's not that big of a deal for me, but it is for a lot of people, is that he should not, under any circumstances, be comparable to his previous EZA. That should not ever happen. It's not just Gogeta that we should bring up for this. We can do, like, STR Z Broly versus Fizz Z Broly. Like, dude,
oh, goodness. Oh,
exactly.
The difference.
Like, Fizz Z Broly, the Chad of long events that, like, crits, like, every super attack after he's fully built up, versus STR Broly, who gets, like what is it, like, 80% attack and defense up whenever he's attacking, and he has like 6 links.
No,
He doesn't even have 7. Like,
no prepared for battle.
No prepared for battle. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of instances of EZAs where, like, an older version of that same character name already got an EZA, but then whenever the newer one gets his EZA, he's infinitely better. But that's not.
I think it's also just I think it's also just a testament to how broken Janemba was when he initially got his EZA too.
Yeah, I mean, he was so good that, like, for a while, he, like, made me change my method of assessing units. I used to, like, think that if a unit was only good on 1 or 2 teams, they could not be number 1 in comparison to a unit who is good on multiple teams, just not as much. Which was why nowadays I'll put, like, Golden Frieza above Janemba. But, like, back then Janemba only had 2 categories, but he was so good for so long that I was like, I can't reason with myself to put him any lower than number 1. And he stayed that way for a long time. Like, he's a must run on any, like, hard event for his teams, like movie bosses, all of that. Like, he wouldn't run him, or he wouldn't not run him, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely does show that I think maybe they were even a little scared because they made Janemba so utterly dominant. Like,
they didn't want to repeat what happened with him.
I agree, and I think that's what they were afraid of with Tech Janemba and STR Janemba. I don't think, like, it's different people are making these cards. I'm thinking they're, like, trying as much as they can to be cautious.
Well, they made Gogeta, so I don't really think it's that it's gonna be that easy to.
Maybe let's think of it this way. Like, you look at the anniversary, right? The 5th year. Everybody was like, "Oh, Tech Vegito Blue's the best unit in the game," and obviously that was everywhere. Like, it doesn't matter how much, like, I was like, no, SGR Gogeta. Like, it doesn't matter how much I say that. Like, the majority of people think Tech Vegito Blue is superior, and I'm not here to argue that or whatever. We'll get to those boys in a minute.
As much as I would love it.
Yeah, but the point is that everybody said Vegito was better. Well, Gogeta had super effective against all types, right? STR Super Gogeta, super effective against all types. And repeatedly, every time they've released somebody like that with another unit next to him, it seems like people are starting to, like, us as a community are like, oh, I like Janemba's guard more. Oh, I like Vegito's additional super attack more. It's like, maybe they made Int Super Gogeta super good because they were like, oh, well, maybe there's less people that are saying, oh, this Gogeta is gonna break the game, than there is with people who are like, oh, Int Janemba will never be surpassed ever, no matter what they do. So maybe they're like
Yeah.
they're more comfortable making Int Super Gogeta super good or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta super good. And whereas with Janemba, they're like, oh my god, we messed up. Everybody's like, this guy's like the best human being. They're like, oh, oops, he is, you know?
I mean, it really felt like it when you used them, man.
Why do you think we haven't seen 300% since Bergamo came out? They're terrified. They're horrified. They don't want to repeat
Bergamo, Dokkan King, I remember those memes.
The King of Dokkan. Yeah. But, you know, I do hope that this doesn't happen again. We're about to have a scenario where this can happen again very soon, and that's Fizz Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. If this guy is anything like Tech Gotenks, I'm gonna be very, very disappointed. They cannot miss twice with this guy. Like, they just can't. Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is so...
I think I have Fizz Gotenks to Rainbow too, so I'm ready either way.
I think I've had him at like 3 dupes, but I haven't like invested in him on global. I think I did on JP though. But yeah, hopefully he's not. Hopefully he's not a another STR Janemba where he's underwhelming as hell.
Can he not lower his own defense on his super attack, please? Like, I'd appreciate that. He used to do recoil damage on his super attack.
What was it, like 30% HP? Like,
yes.
Something like that. It was so bad.
It was so bad. Like, they complained about it so much that they changed the unit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Like, hold on. But, I think it was, like, on his, what was it, like, his 12 key?
12 key?
Yeah, because that's when he does the head.
That's where he, like, slams his head against
the life-risking blow. Makes sense why they did that. But he.
Let's see if I get a.
Oh.
I forgot what it's called. Damn it! All right, and just go on. Just go.
Yeah, currently he's called Ultra Super Saiyan. That's his passive name.
Ultra Super
Saiyan.
That's the new Super Saiyan 3, everybody.
Yeah,
Ultra Super Saiyan.
But yeah, currently he gets plus an additional attack plus 60% and defense minus 30% for 7 turns from start of turn. And he has no defensive buff on his super attacks or before that in his passive. It's just 120% attack, unconditional, then plus an additional 60% attack and minus 30% defense for 7 turns from start of turn. So he doesn't lower his defense on his super, he doesn't lower his attack on super, but he does have a defense debuff in his passive currently.
Oh, so I thought he did it on his super attack. Never mind.
No, I think that's AGL Goten Trunks.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it wrong.
Those things.
I just remember getting hit so hard by enemies after I used that 12 key that I just thought that, am I lowering my own defense?
I mean, for good reason, because technically he is lowering his own defense. But yeah, they really need to just make this man super good, because like his categories need it. I mean, okay, final trump card. Final trump card might not need it.
They really need Gotenks, bro. They really need it.
Majin Buu Saga, it has to happen. But special
Youth
pose,
could use them.
Yeah, special pose, youth saviors, rapid growth. Even Super Saiyan.
We don't talk about Fusion because it's just mini final trump card.
Yeah, Fusions is just final trump card junior. So.
Same with Katara. Actually, no. Katara is diverse enough to where I can call it not trump card junior.
You can run the units that make it diverse enough anyway. That's the problem. You'd still just run Vegito. Maybe you'd run
I mean, what about Kibito Kai, bro? SR Kibito Kai?
Oh yeah, there we go. You know, the SBR God, Supreme Kai and Kibito.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully Fizz Gotenks actually, beats Tech Gotenks into a living, I guess
just make him completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
please.
Just make him horrible. Just make him an embarrassment. Doesn't Tech Gotenks have like 6 links?
He does? Does he?
I think he does.
Oh God. Ugh.
Yeah, he does.
Oh no, man.
Oh man, what a
So
great
then
unit. But yeah, we should probably transition to the last
move
part.
on to the
The
hot
highlight,
topics.
that hot take that you presented us.
If y'all don't remember what it was, just look back to the start. You'll remember.
Or you could just say it again.
We're gonna be explaining why the Blue Fusions are underrated and overhated.
And overhated. Don't forget that part. All right, let's. You know what? I'll let you take it away since I'm known for arguing for these guys. So why don't you go ahead and do it?
All right. So, if anyone doesn't know about the Blue Fusion's reputation in the community, you've been living under a rock. Let's just say that much. So
you'd have to be playing from like 2015, and then you're like, oh god, I should probably get this game again.
yeah. Whoa, they added a hidden potential system.
Whoa, dupes matter.
Anyways, people think the Blue Fusions are really overrated because they really take into the fact that in their base forms they may not be as comparable to like other at the start of turn gods like Jiren. They try and make that their basis for their claims that they aren't top tier at the start like Jiren is. But even in their base forms, they're just really oppressive. They have a 50%.
Hold on, real quick. It's actually, I think it's 70%. It's 70%. In the base forms. But what I was gonna say is, did you ever see Jiren's name on Global?
No.
Majesty of the Mighty.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, right? They knew.
Yo, Jiren's royalty.
Royalty free Jiren.
Walmart brand Jiren.
Great value Jiren.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, continue. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I just thought that was hilarious.
No. It was worthy interruption. Anyways, as I was saying, people make their bases for their claims that like the Blue Fusions aren't that impressive in their base forms when they're wrong, to say the least. Mm-hmm. Because one of my friends named Yelvis, he has a screen of his 55% base SCR Gogeta doing a 4 million attack set in his base form.
Yeah.
How is that with an additional and a probable third?
Yeah, I think on that turn, like his Gogeta got up to like what, it was like 4 million, and then he had like a 2 million additional super, and then he got like an 800,000 normal that crit. So
yeah, so about 6.8. Yeah, pretty balanced.
Yeah, it's nothing. You know, just a bit over 7 million actually since it critted at the end.
And they have a 50% chance of dodge in the final slot.
Oh my god, let's talk about that real quick. People are like, oh my god, you have to put him in slot. But dude, I don't really think it's that big of a deal, because I think a lot of people are so focused on like the type SBRs that like I don't think they realize that category ESBR exists now, and like those fights last from like 5 to 8 turns. Like, if you're floating these guys off, and then like they come back on like the 3rd turn or whatever, you can just like you can float them off again, and more than likely you'll probably see them at one battle in category ESBR. You'll see them go at least one fight. Usually, I found that I've done it every fight. Yeah, exactly. They'll annihilate it. And I feel like, you know, them being 3rd slot units restricted to that in SBR, I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be. Especially considering, like, let's just look at Gogeta for an example. Like, in his category ESBR stage of, like, Fusion or whatever, you're going to always put him in the 3rd slot, yeah, but, like, what are the other units on rotation doing? Like, Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Yeah, like Fizz LR, Gogeta. Yeah, all these units who are, you know, fine in the other 2 slots are linking up perfectly with this guy, even though he's in the 3rd slot. Whereas, like, I was gonna say, whereas, like, you know, even though they're locked in the 3rd slot, the people on rotation are linking so well with them that they're dealing enough damage.
Like, they give benefits to the rotation.
Yeah, because they have such good links. And they deal so much damage, too, if you have, you know, again, if you're rocking teams that have their links off, which you probably will since they're so splashable. And I think that's what a lot of people are, like, really starting to not pay attention to. And I'll bring up the Majesty of the Mighty real quick. Like, He's so good, right? But like, you really only run him next to one unit.
I won't deny his like start of turn dominance, but
Mm-hmm.
when the blue fusion is transformed down there, it just goes downhill from there for Jiren.
And like another
Because
thing. Oh no, go ahead.
because I know like this is like peak condition, like maxed, built up completely, but still, I got my 55% LRVB without support to about a 12 million collective attack stat.
All with a chance to crit
Is it?
on his additionals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing to like bring up is even though like for the first few turns the Blusions won't be hitting harder than like say Jiren himself or anything, they will be hitting harder than UI Goku at any point in the fight. Don't even freaking say
Hmm.
that. It's disgusting. But even though they're not hitting harder than Jiren, usually their partners are absolutely dealing more damage. And for Gogeta's case, they're certainly better defensively than even Toppo, which is Jiren's partner.
And
So
yeah, it's just Topo and like maybe that int Topo sometimes, I guess.
yeah, in that one stage that you'll like, what can you even run him in USS?
Is he on USS? I don't
I
think so. Because in the place and when the card takes place, it's like before that
no,
even happened.
he's in it. He's in USS, but
Hmm.
oh oh,
What?
so
What did you find out?
he can get his guard when there is only one Universe 11 ally in the same turn, which is fine since you're running Jiren. But he doesn't get his like his full buff for attack and defense. He's like missing like over 100% attack and defense. If you don't have 3 or more Universe 11 allies on the team.
But Jiren, like the 200% defense.
Yeah, you can make Jiren work in SPR, but like that's the like you can make him work, and he'll do great. He'll look better than the Blusions in SPR for those first turns, right? You know, in category ESPR, the Blusions will eventually end up eclipsing him. But for those, for
I
the
will
majority,
personally say,
yeah,
I will personally say that in SPR specifically, I do like Jiren more for it, just because of his like four. Because you said that the fights they last like 5 turns, right?
for ESPR, like for like category,
Yeah.
yeah, they last
Yeah.
like at least 5 turns usually, like almost always.
Jiren for those 4 turns is just
Two,
crushing,
yeah,
wrecking ball everything.
right.
But that's not the point.
Yeah, which is, I mean, like, even if, like, we were only gonna assess it by SPR, I mean, like, don't the Blutions have, like, more stages to challenge anyway?
Yeah.
I know for sure they definitely have more partner units that are way stronger than Toppo, so
Yeah.
that's not even worth mentioning. But, you know, I think the thing that's turning people off from the Blutions is that I think a lot of people are, like, overlooking just the amount of versatility they have, like rotation wise and team wise. Because like not rotation wise as in their slots, as in like the amount of units that you can put on rotation with these guys, and they'll have like almost all their links active. Like, for example, on the last like on Final Trump card, if you're floating the Blusions, specifically Gogeta, he'll always share Prepared for Battle with like the best unit in the game, STRL Super Vegeta, and that's before he even fuses, right? And then he'll be sharing like Kamehameha, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, and he's just a floating unit who's dishing out tons of damage with great dodge, like.
And when he transforms, he's just insane.
Exactly. Whenever he transforms, he's absurd, especially since he has that a high chance of getting that third attack, right? So I think it's like, you know, because their leader skills are so strong, because they even in their base they deal like so much more damage than so many units. Like UI Goku may be better defensively and may be more easy to use in SPR for his defense, but like if you're comparing his damage to the base Blusions, it's not even close. Like it's a complete landslide. And plus their piece efficiency is super good too. better than UI's for the first like turn.
Whose base form would you say is better though? Just
Oh,
asking.
I like Gogeta's base form more. I know that you probably like, of course, but I like it more because he has prepared for battle, whereas like Vegito has, what is it like? Oh, like
Over the Flash and the
no,
Brainiacs.
well no, because Gogeta has both. He has both Over the Flash and prepare for battle, and then he also has
I think Vegito-
Kamehameha, whereas Vegito has like Brainiacs and power bestowed by God. And I don't know about Brainiacs though. I don't know about Brainiacs.
I'm not gonna argue Vegito as having
Plus,
better
like,
links.
he has, like, he has the higher attack stat anyway. Like, base attack stat. So, like,
Vegito gets a higher stat than Gogeta, but, like, visual stat.
No, Gogeta would hit. It's because, like, since, like, you're building them for their blue forms, you'd put full crit into Vegito, and you'd put full additional into Gogeta. And, you know, in base, Vegito would get so much more of crits than Gogeta would from additionals.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, well, that is true. Yes, I agree with that. When they're transformed, I'm saying Vegito gets a higher like.
Oh yeah,
the
because of all
attack
those,
stat
yeah,
when you
because of all
see.
those additionals and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he just builds
It's
up
super
way
effective.
faster, right? Whereas Gogeta takes way longer to build up.
Is it for the Gogeta stacking? Does it specifically say it has to be a super attack, or is it just
Well,
every
no, it's
attack?
just any attack. But since since Vegito is more viable defensively, I'm pretty sure you'd like put him in the first slot anyway. So Vegeta would. So by the time you get to Gogeta, he'd probably kill the enemy anyway with his first super. So he averages like less hits than Vegeta does. I'm pretty sure that would be how it would work.
I really do like Gogeta's instant 5 key.
That's
better than the sniping.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think people underrate about the Blusions. Like even in base, their piece efficiency is so good. Like
Godly, bro.
imagine having to wait to get hit or wait to dodge to get your key. Like no, they just get it. They just get it right away. They just get 3 key in base with like how many key links does Gogeta have? Like 1, 2, 3. Like he has 2 key links and then he has 1 3 key link. While having
I have never not gotten an 18 key super with Vegito. To be honest with you.
Yeah, you'd have to try not to.
Exactly.
So I feel like their ease of use is so good. Their damage is so good as well, and like they just work too good on all their teams with their amazing link set. That I think even though they need to be like in third slot at all times, I feel like they deal enough damage anyway, and they work so well with their teams regardless. Especially with the odds of them eventually becoming blue in category USBR. That I think that they absolutely deserve to be in like that top, like tippity top tier of like units in the game.
Like I am not an ESBR person. I'm not that good at the game. Okay, let's just say. But I did do Patara SBR the other day, and I used Tech VB. He completely steamrolled the event. I'm just gonna say that much.
Well, yeah, especially I think that's another thing that VB has the advantage over Gogeta in, is that for his category, like it is so much slower than Gogeta's that like the counters deal like the counters can screw you over so easily in that event that it could take so many turns that Vegito like has no chance but to go. Like there's nothing you can do because the counters just decided not to crit that day, and then Vegito went blue. Whereas Gogeta, like it's kind of unavoidable to make the fusion team not kill anything that's in front of it. So
yeah, I mean,
Super Saiyan 4
Gogeta. A lot of Vegeta units kind of do rely on counter, like crits for the counter to do meaningful damage. Like Gogeta units are like, oh, an enemy? Yeah, goodbye.
Right. You know, I mean, that's another point in their favor. I mean, their teams are built so well, whereas Jiren is basically just feed me power and then I'll try and handle it myself, which he normally does. But
he would try.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not here to like start like a Blutions over Jiren thing, but I will say that I definitely have always had a preference for the Blutions over Jiren. I mean, I still think Charles is better than both of them. Just put that out there, but
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But I think the Blutions are just I think people just are focused way too damn much on the fact that the Blutions don't have absurd defensive viability in any
Like,
slot
you
that they
don't
want.
need like 300k defense to be amazing.
Or 70% chance to dodge.
Yeah.
Or guard.
And it's still crazy how like they're still top 5 even to this day.
Depending on who you ask, a lot of people don't even have them in their top 10 anymore. I mean, what did Truth say in like one of his videos? Like it was like a Link level 10 kill and Khalifa video, and he was like, "Are they better than the Blutions?"
Oh my god, I can't.
As he
I want
said
to
that as he
DM
was,
him my 12 million attack stat with Vegito. I really do.
I think he said that while he was showcasing them on like a U16, so like it's kind of obvious why why they would look so good. But yeah, I mean, I guess that could be it. I mean, really, just I feel like it's a lot harder to pinpoint down why the Blutions are so good because it's not as in your face as recent units. Whenever they first dropped, it was in your face. But it's not as
They
in your
were the
face as
hypest thing ever.
yeah, but it's not as in your face as oh, Goku just has 70% dodge, or oh, Jiren just has 200% attack defense. The Blutions are a lot less, I guess,
More passive.
yeah, they're a lot less like assertive. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're not like. Look
But
at
when
me.
they go blue, they're just a wrecking ball.
Oh yeah,
Then
whenever they go blue, then it's there's like only like what like Turles.
Vegeta.
I don't even think Buhan is able to like compete with it. I think it's just Turles and then SGR Vegeta. I think those are the only two guys who can do it. I'm pretty well. Maybe the Blue Boys if they're like getting premium orb service or whatever.
Like Z tier levels of support.
Like 3 rainbow orbs every turn with like an orb changer creating like 12 normal orbs for them or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean they're just I don't know, I feel like people just give them too much shit. And I don't really understand why.
I think it's not really sure about this, but I think it could be the reason could be just I think people are kind of tired of fusions at this point. Like they could use a break from them.
Exhaustion,
Yeah, they've been kind of running fusions dry this year. There's been a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and also like it's another thing because like I feel like whenever these guys dropped, as much as people are like, oh, I'm sick of fusion. Whenever these dropped, like you didn't run any other team but this team, and it wasn't because they were the best teams in which it was the best team in the game, but it wasn't because of that. It was more
they were like
they were just so fun.
The thing to win. Yeah. I never had more fun in my life than using Tech Vegito for the first time. It was just a blast.
Yeah, right? Hopefully, the 6-year anniversary is, hopefully it, like, kind of matches it. I don't know if Vegeta's animations are gonna reach the Blusions tier. I'm pretty sure Goku's will. But, like, I don't know if Vegeta has enough material to compete with that. But we'll see.
I feel like they could do some things. They don't really have to use scenes specifically from his Blue Evolution scenes.
That's true.
They've done that before.
They have done that. You know, like, if like eventually whenever we get a, well, okay, I was gonna say maybe we could get like a Super Saiyan God Vegeta, and then they could use that beautiful scene from Kakarot. But then I remembered Super Saiyan God Vegeta has the Broly movie too, so it's like it's not the same thing. But
I need that. I need it.
Yeah, we should be getting the unit like details and all that stuff like next week.
Oh my! I can't wait to see these animations. I think it's
next week. Yeah, because it's only like the banner drops in like 10 days. So.
Jesus, man, we're in the end game now.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I like how up to this point it's just been like, oh yeah, the 6-year anniversary's coming up, and then yesterday we're just like bombed with it. Oh my god,
it's here.
That Goku, man, that Goku. Ooh. The 3 Goku.
All right, well, that's it for this one. I mean, hopefully, we weren't just like rambling too much. I feel like we, I feel like we were.
I feel like I did that a lot.
But
And
go ahead.
I'm really sorry, the Gohan fans. I didn't mean to offend you. I'm really sorry. It's just it's my opinion. I hope y'all understand.
What do you mean? Don't you love Infighter?
Man, best link in the world.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like, dude, Cold Judgment. Whew.
20 defense link, awesome.
I know, right? Like, oh. Oh my god. But yeah, that's it for this one. Tune in for the next episode, which will be uploaded. In the future.
In the future.
Eventually.
I may be there, I may not be there. Who knows? Depends on my schedule.
We'll have somebody here, that's for sure. Somebody will be
Yeah.
here with me. It won't just be me.
It's just Holden talking.
It's just me all alone. Yeah, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to y'all later. Bye.